speaking today with Betsy Johnson of the Kentucky Association of Healthcare Facilities. We were talking about earlier that sometimes some people in the community or entities in the community can help out and have helped out when we've gone into the COVID pandemic, and you have a pretty unique story.
Yes, looking back at March and April of 2020, I think all of us were, especially in the long-term care world, we were scrambling about like how can we help, how can we be proactive, because we really didn't know what we were facing, right? I mean, we were watching what was happening in Washington State, but it really hadn't hit Kentucky. But so, I like to be very proactive in how I deal with things, and so as the president of our association, I started thinking, okay, what relationships do we have? And, because I'm a registered lobbyist in Kentucky and deal with other lobbyists, we've forged a really good relationship with the Kentucky Distilleries Association and know their lobby team very, very well. In fact, they always said, you have such a hard job because selling bourbon in Kentucky is very, very easy, but, selling or asking for, support for long-term care services is a lot harder. So anyway, we had heard that some of our distilleries had shifted their production from bourbon to making hand sanitizer. Wow. And so we reached out, and sure enough, all the major players in Kentucky, and I'm going to miss one if I name them, but it's Heaven Hill, Maker's Mark, all of those distillers were willing to not only make the hand sanitizers, but to donate them. And so we had like truckloads delivered to our office, and then that presented another problem because, I don't have a truck big enough to deliver hand sanitizer across the state. But then our vendor partners, as we call them, the ones here at the trade show today, they weren't able to go into the buildings at that time because of the lockdown, right? Exactly. So they were looking for ways to help. And so we had our pharmacy providers, we had our medical supply providers, we even had a therapy provider volunteer their time and their vehicles to deliver those hand sanitizers across our state, because Kentucky's a pretty long state. Yes. It takes about, I think, 7 hours maybe to get from one side to the other. So they volunteer their time. So I thought, it made me feel like I was being productive because I was connecting the dots. And then I think our bourbon providers, our distillers, were able to do something that they felt was, a positive step to combating COVID in long-term care facilities, and then our vendor partners were able to step in and deliver. So that was a great story from the pandemic.
That's a wonderful story from the pandemic, and I'm sure that your providers were very grateful to see all these different vans showing up with product.
Yeah, we have great pictures, and during a very stressful time, and again, a lot of unknowns were happening at that time. We have some great pictures of people being really like, I'm doing something, and making that delivery, and people coming outside the building in full PPE to accept the box.
Wow.
And everybody was feeling good at that time. So.
That's a wonderful story. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, thank you.